Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Richard, and today I'm bringing you a compilation video of advice for new traders from US investing champions and top contenders. I think you'll really dig this, and basically, I think the overarching theme, as you'll soon realize, is that you should never ever give up, keep working at it, keep putting in the hard work, and eventually you'll get to where you want to be. And we'll go ahead and start with Mark Minervini. So sit back, relax, leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you guys in future videos. Thanks.
Well, the good news is that it's a great time to be a stock trader. It's a great time to be anything. And the reason why is because the learning curve is automatically shortened because you have things like this right here, right? We have YouTube, we have the internet, we have Zoom, and we have all kinds of Twitter and all this exchange of information that when I started, there was nothing. I was going to the library and I was reading books that were old and outdated and from strategies and techniques that never worked in the first place. So it took me years and years and years of trial and error to figure it all out. But now your learning curve has been shortened tremendously. But here's the main thing you have to remember. It can be shortened only so much.
Right.
You can't force experience. And there's a certain amount of experience. Michael Jordan can tell you how to dribble and toss a basketball, but you're not going to be able to be a professional basketball player without playing and being in those situations and having a certain amount of experience on the court and in big games. So it's the same thing. You still have to have a certain amount of experience. So my words would be to make sure that you understand that it's going to take time and make a commitment to it and do what you love. That's the main thing. If you enjoy it, then stick with it and you'll get great at it. But there's all the information's there. We have information overload now. There's too much information. It used to be you couldn't find any information. Now you got to figure out what is the good information and what's the bullshit. That's the big problem now, is narrowing it down to the good information. But That's a better problem to have, I think, than no information. So it's a great time to be a stock trader. It's a great time to be anything. You could learn how to. I'm a musician. I've been a musician my whole life. When I first started playing and I was learning songs, I had to take the album and I had to put the needle back and listen to it, and take the album, put the needle back and try to play it. Now the person who played that part and wrote that part is on YouTube teaching you how to do it.
Right.
That's why you got 7-year-olds playing playing the guitar incredibly. And, these incredible, they look like they're protege, gifted, musicians, when in fact, no, just the information now in the learning curve has been cut way down because our teaching is so much better. We're accessing the whole world and we're accessing talent from around the world. So this very thing that we're doing right now is the reason why you should be very excited and very motivated for the future.
So one thing I do is I go back to the good times in my head. Like when we're in bad times, the feeling you get when you have like a nice big move and your account's moving, don't let go of that feeling. Remember it in the back of your head, because those times are coming again. But you have to wait. You have to be willing to wait, and you have to keep that mental capital intact. And most people want to do things every day. Like I mentioned, I struggle with, doing nothing. It's something I'm working on, but never forget what that feels like when you go through a good period, because it's going to come again. You just have to sit and wait. Things don't go to the moon every single day, every single week. There's a process here. After big moves, there's ebbs and flows, and however long it takes. If it takes weeks, if it takes months, if it takes years, you have to be willing to sit, but don't ditch your process because you're in a rut. As much as it sucks if you're losing money, and maybe take a step back, but you have to fight through that negativity that's going on in your head and just keep at it. Keep the routine the same. Keep going through it, because you have no idea when the market may turn, and your frown will get turned upside down pretty quickly. So I think that's one thing is always remember what it feels like during the good times when you're getting discouraged, because you don't want to lose sight of that and beat yourself up too much. And again, I've said it a million times, but I think the thing that helped me the most is if you're passionate about something, stick with it. Don't ever give up. I mean, there were times where I was getting obliterated, like trading options, like emotionally you're a wreck. Like even around like my wedding, like back in 2013, like 2013 was an amazing year, 2012, 2013. Like I was getting like smoked trying to buy like Priceline calls and, and these is just wild stuff. And it was like the best weekend of my life at my wedding. And I think it was a good perspective for me to say, hey, there's more, out there than like feeling sorry for yourself and getting stuck in a rut. Like there's more to life than trading, even if you love it. I love this more than anything, not my family and friends, but aside from that, I love this more than anything. But at the same time, you need to have some perspective and not let it kind of ruin your emotional psyche. Take some time to get away from it and do other things. And I think that balance, you get out what you put in. You need to, the people that do really well have go at it more than others maybe, but you still have to find a balance. Right. So I just say, don't ever give up. I went through a million rough patches, trying to get to the spot where I'm at now. And it's taken a long time. And, you just stick with the process and believe in it. If you don't believe in it, then forget about it, because then you're not going to get over the hump. But if you believe in it, then by all means stick to it, because it's going to happen, and you're going to come across some sort of light bulb moment where something's going to click, and then you're going to start to slowly gain traction, and then something else is going to come in, and you're going to gain even more traction. There's going to be a little bumps along the way, but just make sure you're taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back, and not the other way around. And just always believe in yourself. Don't let anybody try and throw you off. Ditch the haters. You'll hear people try and tell you that, oh, nobody can successfully beat the markets like over time. It's like, yeah, even if you had like a bad year, let's say, but like the prior 5 years, like we're winners. It's like, who cares? It's like one bad year out of like a span of 50. You want to be doing this until you're 6 feet underground. Most people, right? And so just kind of try and think and don't get too caught up in the short term. Think longer term. I think that kind of helps with my perspective as well. So just keep grinding. Don't ever give up. And anybody can do this. Like I said, if you have 2 brain cells, you can do it. It's simple. I always joke, like people always ask, like, they're like, what do you usually do? I was like, do you know like Crayola crayon box? Like, yeah. I was like, you went to kindergarten class, right? And they're like, yeah. I was like, I just get out my crayon box and just draw some lines on the chart. And that's like, I mean, there's more to it than that, but you try to boil it down into your the most simplistic form possible. I think that, again, that helps me, as I don't want to complicate anything. Like, I don't want to be looking at economic indicators. I give 2 shits about that. Like, all I care about is, are there setups or not? And if there are, narrow it down to the best ones. Maybe there's a company that has exceptional sales growth and you want to focus on those. And so there's all these little tidbits you can kind of put together, but don't let people throw you off the beaten path. Always stick with it if you believe in something. And okay, I'll stop rambling, Richard, but you get my point.
I think motivation, I'd say, I'm pretty much self-taught, so anyone can do it. I mean, I started with money I saved up working part-time at McDonald's. That's where it all began, and I was a teenager. So anyone can do it. It just takes a lot of discipline, and it does take time. So you can, it's bad if you make too much money, and it's bad if you lose too much money. So my biggest losses came when I made too much money and I didn't know how to handle it, so when you think that, I know it now and this is how it's going to work, you're in really big trouble, So when you're making a lot of money, make sure you have sell rules, because you need buy and sell rules. If there's a hole there, if you don't have your sell rules down, you're going to pay the price. And so I think that would be advice to a trader, in terms of motivation. You can do it, but just you need rules for buying, selling, position sizes. You need rules. Every time you make a mistake, go back, make a rule. Even if it's not perfect, if that rule, holds you back sometime in the future, you can amend it. But for the time being, that I have this flaw. So this is the rule I'm making to counteract that flaw. And you can adjust that in the future. So if I had done that, I probably would have shortened my learning curve by quite a bit. And one last thing is try and avoid strategy drift. So I've tried everything under the sun, and find a strategy that works for you. It doesn't have to be growth stock investing. It just has to be a coherent strategy that incorporates risk management, incorporates buying, selling, position sizing. I've seen guys trade all kinds of different ways, and people have made money in different ways, but the strategy has to be coherent and holistic, from all angles. So, and stick to it and refine it. And that's the way you're going to get ahead. So that would be my advice.
Yeah, I mean, I would just say read all those books, but don't avoid style drift. Find out what works for you and stick with it. And then, I would say like find a mentor. Like for me, Ticker Monkey and working with JT was great. But I think a lot of people try to like copy somebody's strategy. And I do think you need to trade and find out what works for you. Like I'm not going to hold back to the 50 period moving average. I'll sell at the 50 day on the low. Like that's what'll happen. It's happened. And so you have to figure out what works for you. And then I would just like become a part of a group or work with people where you've got guys with more experience, but more just so as you learn and you inevitably have some tough times, you have people that can kind of motivate you and keep you going. Because I do believe that if you stick with it and if you're willing to admit your faults and kind of learn from your mistakes, that you're going to have success over time. So just keep at it, stay persistent, and don't give up.
I love trading. If you love it and you love it, you got to work on coming back to it eventually, because it's not like there's a trading job they're going to give me. I have an MBA in finance or whatever. No one's giving me a trading job out of school. Okay. I mean, I have friends that did, but that was not going to happen for me being, with no internships and all, I no background and all that. So I had to invent my own education, and, it definitely speed up your learning curve. Like I've paid a lot of great traders to teach me all their stuff. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I don't even use all of it, but it goes back to the confluence when I know different systems are lined up and you have better trades up, raise the odds slightly, you kind of see what's going on. You got to work on your sit out power. You can't trade all the time. If you're doing my system, I mean, I don't know, maybe there's systems you can, day trading, that's different. I don't do that. E-mini, I've done a volume profile. I know all that. That's not what I do. I actually use some of that on the charts just to get a better look at it, but that's a different system. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, use alerts, obviously. Don't drive yourself crazy. Just react to things and have a plan. Don't call audibles, and you got to set profit goals. I'm all about the profit and loss, and when I hit a goal, I really try not to lose it. I mean, that's what you want to do, and and when you're when you're learning from someone, you got to come with an open mind. When you're learning from someone, don't bring all your bad habits to the table, and otherwise you're never going to get it. I mean, you have to be open-minded and ask how they think. Don't ask for stock picks, okay? Like, tips and all that. Forget that. It's all about how you think in the process, and you definitely want to cut your losers early, right? And then ride those winners. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to go through there, and just learn, and protect your money and be very careful.
So my advice will be, the first one will be like practice. Consistency is the key. Don't use paper accounts. Mm-hmm. I think that's the worst idea ever, because I know a lot of people that are really profitable on their paper accounts, and they trade with real money, and they found out this thing called the mind and emotions that come in play when real money is in the game. So don't do it. So trade with less money, but you still have the mental thing trying to blue you. So that's one thing about trading, is that like your mind is trying to play the other way around, right? So right. It's crazy. Try to eliminate that mental part, and stop loss always. Mm-hmm. The losses, try to mitigate the losses. One of the big things I got from Market Wizards is that you don't have to hit home runs every time. Mm-hmm. So it's more about not losing the money than getting rich on one trade. Right. So I think that's a big lesson I learned.
and it's doable. A lot of people do it. So whoever can do it. That's one thing about, I like the name of these guys I told you, the dumb money team. That is like, hey, we're the dumb money. Like, we're not the smart money. And in Wall Street and everybody in the newspapers, they keep telling you, hey, you shouldn't trade. You're gonna lose all your cash. You should give it to experts. Nobody can do it. Nobody can beat the S&P longer than 2 years. And books like Market Wizards, now you got Twitter, and you got a lot of, I don't know, the competition, everything. You see people that consistently do it. So it's doable. So consistency is the key. You have to be really consistent. You have to think about it as it's a real thing, not like fun thing, not like a game. So
like a business, right?
Like a business, right? So, and also another thing, it's like it's a real business. It's something people. It's a profession. It's my life. I live on it. So don't try also to, or do try, but you can't really. I don't know. It's complicated. You can't shorten the learning curve really. You can learn faster, but you won't be a trader in a few weeks after you read the John Murphy book, or you, I don't know, you do the CMT and you know how to calculate, I don't know, some levels. It's consistency. It takes time, and it takes a lot of patience and risk management. That's the key.
So these are my final one. How I trade the probability in favor, market at uptrend, long term, medium term, buy from tight areas, high probability setups. In strong market, I start with 15% position per trade. I'm not good at sliding in. I'm very bad at it. So what I do is, in a strong market or good market, I will go with 15, and if needed, I might cut it down. Cutting it down is easy, but stocks which are strong, they don't let you another chance to buy for another 30%.
Right.
So I used to, and also, as I said to you, I started buying 15% because I can buy 7 shares. Not strictly 15. Instead of 205 shares, say, I might buy 200. Instead of 197, I might buy 200. It's roughly 7 shares. So I used to buy 25% share, but what will happen? The share I will leave will go up. So doing 15% give me 2 benefits. One is I can have a wider stop loss for my risk, per trade. And second is that I had more shares. But going below 15%, I believe you're diluting. This is 1.24 I just discussed. Go slowly, discussed earlier. Position size, continue to work 10% and then 15%. So if the stocks keep on working, then I might go to 10%, then 15%. And my investment started going up. If not working, I'll stop, pull back. This was the key. Bend with the market. Trade the larger the market is good. Smallest when this is choppy. If last 2 trades show losses, reduce position size to 8% and then to 5%. Do not trade when probability is low. That's my key thing. And best of luck for everyone. I hope some people might have learned something. But again, these are my view. If you look at Oliver Kell and Tomas Claro, Ryan or Matt, Manish, we are all different traders. Everybody had their own ways. I'm not saying my trade is the right way or somebody else's trade is the right way. It suits according to your personality.
Absolutely.
Oliver, I see, do a lot of high octane trading. If you look at his USI, I see he was up and down quite a bit, throughout the year. But he had the guts to do that. I can't. I would have lost my confidence if I lost that many percentages. A lot of people lost a lot. Even this year, you can see people were 400 and then you can see 150% or even vanished. I'm not like that.
Right.
I compound. I do not let things. But again, everybody had their own way to trade. And these are all great traders. And once I even thought, I mean, these are very nice guys. We talked with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Anish actually had put a meeting together, and we all used to, first time we used to talk together, not anymore, because our trading styles are so different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one time I was very near to say, why not I trade like Oliver Kell?
Mm-hmm.
Then I chickened out. I said, no, my things are working for me. I'm a consistent trader. His personality is different than me.
Mm-hmm.
He made like 940%. I can't do that. I mean, I can't do that. So I had a different style. So I might lose my edge too.
Right.
So I didn't did that. So all of us have different trading styles. So people need to find their trading style.
I'll never forget, Dan, I went to one of his seminars a while ago, and he went to one of William's a long time ago. And he said, William, the first thing William said at his seminar was, if you do your homework, you'll have more money than you know what to do with. And I will never forget that. That's ingrained into my head. And so for the people out there that are, struggling, like I said, don't give up. Don't ever give up. I mean, if something's worth fighting for, keep at it. There are brighter days ahead. And anybody can do this. You don't need a PhD in any of this stuff. You just need to put in the work, though. It does take time. How bad do you want it? You get out what you put in, just like anything in life, but it's certainly doable. We're so lucky to be, in a world where innovation's always coming up with something new. There's always going to be new companies coming out. So, don't get discouraged if we go through a rough patch, because that's just normal market activity. And things don't go straight to the moon every single day. And just be patient, and good things can come of it. So, keep at it. Yeah, I would say, if you have goals in mind, don't just keep them in your head. I think writing down goals is great. Like, for example, I have something put up on my wall over here. It says, "Are you closer to your dream today?" And it sounds stupid and corny, but for me, it's a good reminder that, if I'm about to do something dumb, or like make a dumb purchase or sell something prematurely, it's like, hey, is this getting you to where you need to be the best person you can be? And so, setting simple goals, even if it's short-term goals, you have longer-term goals, short-term goals, whatever it is, doesn't have to be investing related. Anything in life, write them down. I feel like that's more helpful than just telling yourself in your head you're going to do it. Surround yourself with positive people.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned earlier, it does you no good to put down other folks. It just makes you look really bad, and that's just my 2 cents. But support yourself with positive people who want to see you do well. Share with them your goals, and surround yourself with people that are maybe smarter than yourself, so they can kind of help you get to where you need to go. Again, there's no such thing as a guru in this market. It just comes down to how much preparation you put in. And if you love it bad enough, then the only result will be that you will succeed, and it will get done. And again, the last thing I'll end with is never give up. There were so many times where I wanted to give up. When I first started, you doubt yourself. You wonder if it's possible. But again, it just takes so much time. And if you put in the time and you're patient, then the sky is the limit. So don't ever give up, and believe in yourself, and only great things will happen.
Okay, I think the most important thing is the need to find somebody who's been successful at trading to help them out, and like a real hands-on with a lot of examples, real-time examples. Meaning that I recommend reading O'Neill's book, Mark Minervini's book, but then you need real hands-on experience, and you need to find also someone who's of your who's looking at growth stocks and kind of trading like you. Meaning a lot of times even working at a brokerage, or even my company now, what I'm doing is so different than anybody else. So it's so hard sometimes. Even you start questioning yourself, because everyone's like, no, that's not the way things are done. So you need to be able to hook up with somebody somehow that's been successful at trading, so a growth stock trader believes in it, and believe that you can make huge amounts of money. Because everyone will tell you, well,
it is dangerous, yes, but if you cut your losses, it's not dangerous, and you can make a lot of money. So I think the most important thing is to find somebody, to mentor, whether it's some subscription service or or just watch a lot of your videos. It's like great stuff. You're always given a lot of good stocks to play, and you interview a lot of good people, and so but they need to be able to do that kind of in real time. So they need to be able to converse with someone through the day. Even texting a friend, hey, what are you doing? Why are you doing that?
Right.
That looks offended. Why are you buying that? So they need to be able to and there's nothing wrong too with getting advice from somebody. I mean, your trade doesn't have to be your original idea. If you pick up an IBD or you turn on YouTube, see you talking about a stock, and look the next day, go, hey, that's great. So what? It wasn't your idea. It's so just interaction with other people, I guess, help.